Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to my Pilates class with me, April. Today we've got another full body 30-minute class for you. All you need is a mat, definitely a head cushion if you can, and a little bit of space just to have half an hour for you to just relax and work your body, keep it nice and mobile, nice and supple. Don't forget, as always, please make sure that you work within your own limits. You never push yourself to the point of pain, and enjoy the class. So let's start today. Sitting cross-legged. Sitting cross-legged is a really good way to open up your hips. So if you feel really tight within the hips, you can, as always, move your feet further forward, and that will create a space between the hip and the knee, which will help to relax it down. And of course, you can always sit on your head pillow as well, or your cushion, or a block, or a really big book. That sometimes really helps. And just practice sitting cross-legged. Now, whilst you're here, what you're going to do is take your hands on your ankles and then just move your ankles away from each other. Move your ankles closer together so they're in alignment with each other, and that will help with the hips even more. Now, you might find that once you're here, you're really sitting like this because it's a lot for your back. Try and sit up nice and tall if you can. And you're close to one, you could always do this sitting up against a wall as well. That just helps with a little bit of posture. Even Pilates teachers get aches and pains, believe it or not. I have a lower back problem, I have a few hip problems, and that sometimes just helps to just take the tension off. So, sitting up nice and tall, we're going to keep the spine long and drop the shoulders away from those ears, relax the fingertips. Then we're going to inhale and exhale. And breathe in and out. And breathe in and out. And breathe in and out. And a few more times, in and out. And in and out. And then inhale, exhale, just tilt your right ear to your right shoulder. Allow the left side of your neck to relax and open up. Then come back in, exhale over to the other side. Take your time. Don't rush. And then come back in. Then inhale, exhale, nod your chin down towards your chest. And then come up. Now let's switch the ankles over. So sit cross-legged first of all, and then walk the ankles so they're in alignment with each other. Keep the spine nice and tall. Inhale, exhale, left ear to left shoulder. And then up, and then over to the other side. Then come up, then nod your chin, stretch out the back of the neck. Wonderful. Then we're going to inhale and lift your shoulders up in towards your ears, and then exhale, push them away. Then inhale. Then exhale down. It's so important to look after your shoulders and neck. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Then inhale. Then exhale, lower. Wonderful. Now come and lay down. Give those hips a little break. Now come and lay down nice and slow. Take your time. Hug the knees in towards the chest, rock side to side. you might feel your body relaxing here. You might feel a bit of tension. So just take a second to what I call tune into your body. Listen to what it's saying. Do you have any pain? Do you have any aches? You might have slept funny, and that can sometimes make us feel a bit tense or sore. Close your eyes here, relax the toes. Just breathe in and out. Then hands on the inner knees and rock side to side. And then push your feet a little bit closer to the floor to stretch out a little bit more. And then stretch the right leg out long. Hug that left knee in towards chest, drop shoulders, and rock side to side. And then left ankle on top of right knee and push the left knee out. Hold it there and feel how nice it feels. I love this stretch. Keep your right hip down. And then relax. Stretch the left leg out long, hug the right knee and drop shoulders and rock side to side. So the reason why I always do this right at the start is that you could come back and do the first 5 minutes of this class every day if you wanted to. It's a really nice gentle way to wake up your body, prepare it for your day ahead, and just let your muscles get a little bit of work without overdoing it and keeping everything nice and mobile. Cross the right ankle over, push the right knee out and keep the left hip down. And keep your shoulders down as well. And then relax. Now stretch your right leg out. Excuse me. Excuse me, I've got a really bad cough again at the moment. And I've just poured it all over myself. Wonderful. Okay, so we're going to hug the right knee in and you're going to drop your shoulders down. All you're going to do is just curl up and hold it here. So we're just starting to activate the core and then lower down. And again, inhale, nod, exhale, lift up. And lower down. And again, breathe in. Breathe out, come up. And lower. And again, nod and lift. And then release. Hug the right knee in. Stretch the left leg out long. Drop the shoulders. Inhale, nod. Excuse me. And lift up. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. This will help stretch out your neck. And release down. And again, inhale. Exhale, lift up. So this isn't a massive core kind of exercise, but you're helping to strengthen those muscles. And again, lift. And lower, and one more, lift it up. And lower. Take a nice long body stretch, push through the heels. And release. Good, okay. Now what we're going to do is the same thing, but we're going to switch legs as we do this. And this does create more tension in the abdominals. Also very good for strengthening your core. Excuse me. And it just adds a little bit of resilience, shall we say. So, so you're going to, let's start with the left leg. So bring it in towards the chest and we're going to curl up. And then you're going to bring the right knee in and stretch the left leg out long. Now keep the shoulders down, bring it in, switch. In and switch. In and switch. In and switch. And let's do 4, 3, 2, and last one. Well done. And now hug the knees in and rock side to side. Hopefully you felt that in your core, just a little bit across the middle of the stomach. Yeah, it's a great way to activate your abdominal muscles and get a bit stronger there. Take the hands underneath the lower back, and now we're going to work into the lower abdominals. Now, just a little quick piece of information that no one asked for. I often hear in my face-to-face Pilates classes that people say, oh, I want to do more core exercises to get a flatter stomach. Now, the reason why this doesn't work is that you need to shred any layers of fat you may have, and every single person has a layer of fat over their bellies, unless of course you're a bodybuilder or look like Jennifer Aniston, but every single person has that layer. So whereas these exercises will help, you need to make sure you're eating properly too. So I just wanted to say that because I also did get a message on this as well. So that's the only reason why I'm saying it. But these will help to strengthen your core, which will obviously help your entire body. It helps with your posture. It helps with balance as well. If you ever fall over and you have a strong core, you're probably not going to maybe fall in the way you would if you didn't practice Pilates. Okay, so just to clear that up. Now, before we start, let's stretch out the backs of the legs because this is a lovely hamstring stretch. So bend those knees, drop your shoulders, relax the neck, and inhale, going to push through the heels, and then exhale, lift up. Just breathe in and out. Feel that stretch and release. Let's do that 2 more times. So breathe in, breathe out, push and lift up. And release. And then inhale, exhale, lift. And relax. Good. Okay, so now we're going to lift the legs up again. And you're going to inhale and exhale, drop that leg down as far as you can without your lower back arching, and lift it back up. You don't need to have perfectly straight legs for this. A little bend in the knee will be absolutely fine. You'll still feel it in your core. So inhale, exhale down. And lift, exhale. And lower. And come down, we'll do 4, 3, 2, and 1. And hug the knees in, and then gently rock side to side. So you would have felt that obviously in the hips, and if you do feel it in the hips, as always, I love to stretch in between exercises because otherwise you don't get that kind of build up of lactic acid and sore muscles. So definitely stretch like this if you felt it in your hips. But that was more for your lower abdominal area and your core area. And now let's work into the pelvic floor. So bring the feet up and have the feet hip width apart. So with the pelvis, this is probably the most complicated part of Pilates, and it took me a good month whilst I was in training to really get the hang of it. So don't worry if it feels a little bit, all this information feels overwhelming. You will get used to it, I promise. So most adults stand with a tucked pelvis, which means that your pelvis is not in neutral. This is just lifestyle habits, jobs, comfort. When you push your lower back into the mat, so now if you take your hand underneath, you will feel no space to put your hand there. That's because your pelvis is tucked, and usually when we're standing, that is how you will stand. Unless you have a very arched lower spine or a big curve, that's usually just what happens. So if you take your fingertips and place them underneath the hip bones and push down, and now take your hand and possibly half of your arm, you're going to feel that massive gap. Now this is quite unhealthy for your lower back, because you don't want to arch it to this degree, because as you can imagine, your spine is very, very sensitive, and the lumbar spine has so much pressure on it anyway, as it's in the midpoint of the body. So I would recommend you practice this as much as possible, and this is a very small exercise that has massive benefits for any lower back pain. So push your lower back into the floor, so you feel like your glutes, your bottom is coming off the floor, and then push down and stretch back. Now if you feel like when you're overarching it, so that means you can get your hand under there, it feels very painful, maybe you have a slight pinching in that area anyway. But to strengthen your pelvic floor, you're going to squeeze all the muscles in your pelvis as you push your lower back into the mat and let your glutes come off the floor and really squeeze everything. This again is a very small staple exercise that you can do every day, just to really make sure that your pelvis and your pelvic floor are nice and strong, and it also really helps to relieve back pain. If you get a bad back, which is why a lot of people come to Pilates in the first place, is because of that lower back. So by doing this, you are allowing that lumbar spine, which is your lower back, which is fixed. So it's the only part of the spine that can't really move, and unfortunately that's a massive shame, because it's the midpoint of the body, and that's why so much tension stays there. By doing these exercises, you can really relieve that. The number one question I get asked is, how do I get rid of my back pain? This is it. This is probably one of the easiest, quickest exercises you can do to really help relax that area. And you can do it standing up, you can do it sitting down, and you can do it laying down. There's no excuse, always practice it. Now, let's tuck the pelvis under, and then you're going to very gently, you're not coming into a full bridge, but you're really taking your glutes and lower back off the floor now, and just really squeeze. And then release down. And then tuck under and lift up. And last time, just hold it here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And release down. Now if you hug your knees in, take your hands underneath the knees and curl up into a little ball. You're letting your whole back around, and this is really lovely for it. This really helps drop the shoulders, and this just helps to relax everything. And then whilst you're here, if you can, try and lift all the way up, but if you can't, please don't worry. Just come up however you can. And now we're going to come to lay onto the right side and work into the sides of the body. So your pillow will come in handy here. You're going to stretch out your right arm and take your head onto that cushion. And you're going to stretch your legs out lovely and long. Now, the most important part of this exercise is the starting position, as you need a good, strong foundation. So extend the body, bring the feet forward, hands in front of your chest, and relax the right hand, and then inhale. First of all, just exhale and lift up that top leg. Now take your hands towards the sides of the body, and you will feel your muscles working already. Now this is actually aimed more at the hips and the thighs here, but you will feel a little bit in the sides of the body. Now what we're going to do is inhale and then exhale, lift up both feet. So now your obliques, the muscles at the side, are working, and your core are working extra hard to lift the feet off the floor. You can take the hand here, or you can lift it up if you're a little bit more advanced. Just make sure your hand isn't going back or isn't over here, it's in a straight line. Then lower everything down. Then let's do 5 more. Inhale, exhale, really squeeze. And lower. Inhale, exhale, 4. And lower. Good. 3. This is also really good one to practice as well. And this helps with your balance. If you find that your lower back is hurting, you need to bring your feet further forward. This can also make you wobble a lot as well. And 2. And lower. And last one, lift up. 3, 2, 1, and release. Good. Now come to lay onto your front. And let's work into the back. So we are going to take one hand on top of the other, and your upper body is actually just as important here when we're working into the lower body. So drop your shoulders away from your ears. You can take your forehead onto your hands, but I'm going to lay to the side just because I want you to be able to hear me clearly. And then you're going to lift up the right leg and just hold it here and lower down. So you're working your hamstrings, your glutes, and your lower back. If you really squeeze, you get a little bit more out of it. And lower. And lift. And lower. Squeeze. And lower. Okay, now what you're going to do is bend one leg. You don't want to do this so the leg is here because you won't get as much out of it. And I know we weren't blessed with eyes in the backs of our heads, but you will feel it in your hamstring, which is your thigh muscle. You will feel it if you're too far there or too far here. You want it in a straight line. And then inhale, and then exhale, lift up and lower it down. And we're going to do 7, 6, 5. If you're getting back pain, you're maybe lifting the leg up too high. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And relax. Good. And then just rock those hips side to side. Let's go to the other side. So just get that leg wide. Make sure it's not too here or not too far out. Push into your heel, and then inhale, exhale, lift up and lower. You don't want to be pushing the knee too far out to the side either. Just squeezing up and down. Let's do 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And release down. Good. And then rock side to side with those hips. And now you're going to push your hips into the floor to release any tension in your lower back. Try not to fall asleep because I find this so relaxing. And then relax. Good. Let's come up. Now we're switching over to the other side. So if you kept up with me, we laid on the right side last time. Don't repeat same side twice. Change it over. So come to lay onto your left side and work into the right oblique. So the left arm is lovely and long, and the legs are nice and long as well. Stretch out, keep the body nice and long, and then bring the feet forward, and then hands in front, and then inhale, and exhale, lift up. Now you can also, don't forget, lift your arm up here and lower. Just check the time. Inhale, lift. Sorry, exhale. And lower down. And again, lift. and lower, and squeeze, and lower, 2, and lower, and last one, and release down. Lovely. Come to lay now onto your lay or kneel into a child's pose and stretch off the areas we've just worked. So we're going to take our hands over to the right, keep that left leg long, bring that forehead down, bring the elbows down and relax. Then lift up, over to the other side, so over to the left. And then up. Then stretch your arms up nice and long, elbows down, forehead down. And we've got a child's pose for the next couple of minutes. If you really struggle with child's pose, it could be because you've got a tight lower back or in between the shoulders. So you can always use a head pillow on your forehead to just relax a little bit of the area off. But try and hold this for at least 2 minutes with me so your body feels nice and refreshed. And then inhale, exhale, bring your hands up. And keep your back nice and long. Stretch the arms out to the side. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And last time, inhale and exhale. And thank you all so much for joining me today. I hope you all enjoyed it. Have a wonderful week and I'll see you all next Monday. Bye bye.